Have you heard the latest from Timothy Zahn? Well, no doubt you have, but I've been doing some extra research on this latest news, and I believe I've found some interesting evidence to speculate on. So you probably already know that at New York Comic Con, a new Thrawn trilogy was announced. Now, when I first heard about this news, I totally thought it was going to be a sequel trilogy and cover the time period after Star Wars Rebels. Boy, was I wrong. This is actually going to be a prequel trilogy called Thrawn: The Ascendancy Trilogy, and according to the Fantha Tracks website, it will launch in May 2020, and the new trilogy will be an origin story for Thrawn and the Chiss Ascendancy, where we will all journey to the unknown regions and learn more about the origins of Thrawn and the Chiss Ascendancy, of course. Now, this all sounds awesome, and we even know some of the cool things that are going to happen during this trilogy, thanks of course to the first Thrawn trilogy. But that said, I was going back and looking at some old notes, and I found an old Q&A session with Timothy Zahn in Dallas, where he stated he would of course love to write more Thrawn novels, but he was being held up by Lucasfilm. He stated in Dallas that, "We don't know what is being planned for the era I want to write in. I don't know what Filoni is doing, or if episode 9 might reference something that would totally destroy what I'm planning to do. I am hoping I will get a meeting with Dave Filoni sometime in the next couple of months, and we can sit down and hammer out some things. I don't know if he's got ideas, or if he just doesn't want to give up his spot yet while he's working on other projects. I know Filoni is very busy with everything else, so hopefully sometime in the next couple months we can make a deal for a couple more books. Until then, we're just hanging fire until they come up with their plans so we can come up with ours." And of course, Timothy Zahn was recently on the Star Wars show and said something similar while he was promoting his book Thrawn Treason. But why wouldn't Lucasfilm let Timothy Zahn, one of the greatest Star Wars writers of all time, write the story of Thrawn and Ezra at this point? Surely the story group at Lucasfilm could help him avoid interfering with anything to come in The Rise of Skywalker, or even a Search for Ezra series that Dave Filoni may or may not be planning. While truly there could be several reasons for this, Lucasfilm could be interested in doing a live-action series for Disney Plus using Thrawn himself. Now, this is pure speculation with no evidence whatsoever, but there's been an absolute ton of rumors about possible series flying around for Disney Plus that I think it's valid to include. There is also a much longer shot in the fact that the Benioff and Weiss Star Wars trilogy set to come out in 2022 will include Thrawn in some way, which means that Lucasfilm doesn't want Tim Zahn hammering out Thrawn's story during this period. And again, I get it, that is a total long shot, but it's interesting to consider. Now, what isn't a long shot, and is the most likely scenario, of course, is that Lucasfilm, and more specifically, Dave Filoni, has put that story on hold because he wants to be the one to tell that story. I mean, Dave Filoni has been quoted 2 different times suggesting that he does know what's happening with the Rebels characters after Star Wars Rebels Season 4, and of course, he has also stated that it would be very difficult to let other people write the Rebel characters. So at this point, I think it's pretty safe to say that Timothy Zahn will not be writing a novel that gives us the details about Thrawn and Ezra's fate, because of course, as I stated earlier, Lucasfilm has directed him to write a prequel Thrawn trilogy. Of course, on the flip side, the great thing is, that means that a Thrawn and Ezra story is coming, most likely from Dave Filoni. It's just a matter of time and how. Live action would be cool, but an animation series is much more likely. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.